Abraham never really lived to see himself becoming the father of nations. But Isaac, his son, when you read Genesis chapter 25, from verse 21 to 23, Genesis 25 from verse 21 to 23, became the father of the first set of twins.
Welcome to Apostolic Blueprints, where we are passionate about helping you build a strong foundation of faith.
And God said to the wife when the twins were kicking themselves in the womb, he said, 2 nations are in your womb. The father Abraham didn't see the fulfillment, the total fulfillment of the Father, of God. But the Son brought forth not 1 nation, but 2. As parents, you need to know your children are very, very important. They represent your tomorrow. There might be some promises God made to you that you might not see. But if your children will just live, they will see what you might not even be able to see. I am not doubting God. I know with him all things are possible. But he told me, and I told some of my people, he told me, he said, a day is coming when the Redeemed Christian Church of God, when the governing council wants to hold their meeting, they will hold the meeting on the moon. I know that doesn't make sense, but that's God, eh? Just like he said to me, don't ask for a house, I've decided to build you a city. And he was talking to somebody living in a room in Moshi. When I shared with those people who were with me there, they all laughed. They are still laughing because they can see what God is doing. So when God says we will one day be holding our meetings in the moon, on the moon, you don't have to believe it, but he has spoken, and it's going to come to pass. Every great thing that God has prophesied concerning you shall come to pass. I told you of the story when my father in the Lord and I went to Tulsa in 1979 to attend Kenneth Hagin camp meeting. And after the meeting, we went to a church. And while the preacher was preaching, he came down from the pulpit and stood before my father in the Lord, who incidentally didn't understand English, and I was interpreting for him. Stood before my father in the Lord and said, thus saith the Lord, the promise I made you are about to be fulfilled. My father in the Lord said to me, and as soon as he said that, he went back to the pulpit. My father in the Lord turned to me and said, what did he say? I said, when we get home. Because he had continued preaching and I wanted to continue with the sermon. When we got home, I said, Papa, what was the promise God made you? And he told me, God said, this church that I'm starting through you shall be known throughout the whole world. Papa was just 1 year from going to glory. And God told him, the promise I made to you that this church will be known throughout the world is about to be fulfilled. My father left. He handed over to me. Today, by the grace of God, what God said is being fulfilled. For example, when he was going to talk to Abraham to go and offer him Isaac as a sacrifice in Genesis chapter 22, he said specifically, take your son Isaac, your only son Isaac. Now remember, before then, Abraham already had a son. But God chose to jump over that to your son Isaac. So God took him to the boundary of the land and said, hey, look at the land. But you are not going in because of the mistake you made. When Moses failed, God picked his spiritual son. Joshua chapter 1, from verse 1 to 9. Joshua 1, 1 to 9. God said to Joshua, what your father failed to achieve, you will do it. He brought them out. He couldn't take them in. But you will take them in.
Thank you for watching. Please kindly like, comment, subscribe so you can stay up in speed when next we upload a new video. Thank you.